Get started. This is just kind of just showing you how to do it. The disclaimer, you know, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. Use all the safety precautions, use glasses, whatever else you gotta use. Check the manual, make sure there's nothing special I didn't go over. When you do start, of course, put the car in park. Get that parking brake all the way to the floorboard there, and let's get going. Hey, it's Mike. Today we're gonna change the brakes on the wife's Toyota Sienna. It's a 2011, but most of the more recent ones should be about the same directions. So there's the beast right there. So first you want to go to AutoZone or whatever parts store and get yourself some brake pads. I noticed, especially going downhill, that the wife's brakes were kind of and well, not so much squeaking, but here's the old ones. I already took one off. You can see, you see on the profile there how the meat is actually this side. So it's pretty low, especially when you look at the new ones. You see how much more brake pad is left on there. See the difference there? So, anyways, you're going to want this channel lock wrench guy, jack, some jack stands maybe, flathead screwdriver just to help us pry them off, and a size 15 wrench guy. You're going to want some brake lubricant. They'll try to sell you at the store. Just get it. It's like $1. I think it's up to $1.09 now. And then for your lug wrench, I just use the one that's in the car because it's the right size. Open that bad boy up. Yeah, they're strollers. It's a minivan. Just open up this little guy. What do you know? Exact size we need. Let's go ahead and shut that. And just for, I know how to do it, but this is your first time dorking around with wheels. You're going to want to go ahead. This one doesn't have any hubcap stuffs or anything you have to pry off. You just start, you know, unscrewing, going like a star pattern. Before you jack it up, do it about half turn, just to make it easier. Then once it's up, of course, take the whole thing off. Make sure that you put them shiny side up so you don't scratch up your nice gunmetal rims. Our gangster minivans. This is one of the easier, and I'm sure it helps that it's a newer vehicle. One of the easier jobs to take the brakes off of. So, I mean, for 25 bucks for a brake job, I guess another $1.29 or whatever for the brake lubricant, assuming you already have the very basic tools you need. It's pretty good. So, we're gonna get our 15 wrench. Make sure it's on loosening. There's two bolts. There's this one right here at the top and the same one on the bottom. You just loosen those up and this middle part comes right out really nicely. I'm sure my next brake job and the one after that, it might not come off so easy, but I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I'm just finishing up. I just kind of, after you undo it with the wrench, you kind of just can finger unscrew them from there. Like I said, top and bottom, don't lose those guys. And then really, I mean, just this middle part, don't start trying to pull this off. It should come right off. See, I mean, just, I promise I didn't already take it off. That's how easy it comes off. And make sure you be careful because that brake line is rubber. So we'll just kind of put that out of the way for now. Like I said, make sure you don't overstress or bend or kink that guy. And again, this little paperclip guy here, just pull straight out. We're going to keep these, so be careful. We'll put them the same pattern. See how they point inwards? So we want to keep them that way. And then these guys come straight out. And again, that's what I just use my little flathead for. You're not going to have to bend any of these. These just kind of keep it in there. So just pop them off. Bam. We don't really need those anymore. You're going to want to check your rotors while you're in here. Make sure they're smooth. They don't have to be perfect, but smooth enough. Check the other one too. And they're, I mean, like I said, it's a new car. It's actually it's 3 years old now because it's out of warranty. So it's, I mean, it's still beautiful. If you need, you can take this to, I think Cregan or what is it, O'Reilly now. They'll turn your rotors, or even a brake place for 20 bucks or so can turn those for you. Or if they're too thin, then you can just get new rotors. So anyways, you'll notice on these guys, there is a little shield guy that's It's usually together. I think I shouldn't let that one drop, it banged off. But more importantly, on the top part here, there is a little metal guy on here. Retaining clip, I don't know, I'm sure there's a fancy name for it. But the new ones we have don't have that on there. But it did come with a plastic baggie with them to put it on there ourselves. So, just look at the old ones. See if you're looking at the meat. Like I said, they're symmetrical, or they're opposite of each other. So, one's going to be on this side, one's going to be on that side. And they're both facing up once you put them in the calipers there. So you'll see this pattern, how that is. And you just do the same thing to the other one. You just pop it on in the same exact place. So you can see the two together. That one's looking at me with the thing down. And there we go. It looks the same. We'll pop that on. Okay, so now you can see. Again, make sure, you just copy the one you took off. It's pretty easy. Same thing, same thing. Top, 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 top. Looking the same, looking the same. And then we just pop them on. Make sure you don't, make sure you don't get these guys. They kind of both guide you. Of course, you're not going to want to put them on the wrong way. So that one's, the metal tips go up, so this one goes back here. And it just goes straight in. Like I said, there's those metal guides. Don't force anything. These really do go on nice and easy. You hear a clamp on there. And then again, tippy side up, metal side up. It goes with the shape of the drum. And the metal guide, let the phone focus, it likes to blur every now and then. Goes right in, and again, you just clamp it right in. You just squeeze lightly. If it doesn't go in, try again. Nice and easy. Clink, clink, it's in there. You can see it's sandwiched in there nicely. Don't forget our little, it's like a retainer, a little paperclip guy. And there's little teeny holes in there. And again, you'll know because you took it off. It just goes in nicely, pointing inwards towards each other. Same thing here. See a little hole. See the little hole. Bam. Just like that. And now's the funnest part. We need to, again, be careful of that brake line. These little guys here, the little pistons, they squeeze the brakes. What happens, obviously, with these things being so thin as they are, and our new ones being thicker, the new standard for this guy is going to be a lot wider, so we have to squeeze that thing shut to put them over our new meaty brake pads. The trick my dad taught me is just to use the old pad. You're going to want to go smooth side towards it. These are very sensitive, so you don't want to nick or mess with any, that whatever metal that is. So we put this against here, and then you can use your channel locks to squeeze that shut. And you're going to see how that rubber gasket, or whatever you want to call that guy, is expanded. That's going to be squished nice and tight once we squeeze it. So I just use both that, because again, you don't want to damage that circular guy with the metal chunk that comes out, and we're just going to squeeze that tight on both sides. Keep it pretty flat, because again, we really don't want to damage that guy. I can only imagine how much it costs. So just squeeze between this, the outside of that, and this right here. And you're going to squeeze it nice and slowly. So I'll try to get a shot of this. My wife is around here, she could hold the camera for me. But see how, again, it's on that brake pad, which is against those caliper things. And then this one's hanging on that guy. It's kind of the only thing I can get a grip on. And then you just squeeze it. If you kind of hold the other side, then it won't just squeeze out. So, pardon my shot here, but we'll squeeze it. See if we can't get a shot of that. Nice and slow, it's nothing you have to force. You're just displacing the brake fluid in the line. So, and again, I don't know if you can see that squishing down, but it's squished a bit. And again, you just go back on that one, until it's almost squished all the way shut. The difference of one that's been squeezed down and one that's not. So again, we want them both more like that side. So I'll keep going at it until we're done. Alright, and now they're nice and squeezed shut or open. Of course, I squeezed one and the other one popped up in a little bit. I'll probably squeeze that down a little more. And then we're just going to put it right back on. Again, make sure you're not overstressing that brake line. First we need to grease up our pads. So we're going to get our little brake lubricant. you can squeeze it out and just put it on there. It just really cuts down on the noise, and it prevents, the vibration from reverberating or whatever you call it, and makes for a nice quiet braking experience. When you put it on there, make sure again that these are squished shut, because that retaining clip, that little paper clip guy, is going to want to expand them. So, and then also be mindful of where the bolts align. This of course should be on top of this. This squishes shut, because as you know, this is going to move around a bit. So you see that rubber gasket there? You can squeeze that in a little to make that go over that. So you line both of those up, just kind of finger align and thread that once it's on there, and then you just tighten it up. Make sure everything's nice and solid, and we'll put the tires back on, and we'll be saving the day for the wife and save some couple $100 too. Alright, so I finger threaded it, and then the last bit I wrenched it on there, and then don't do more than a quarter turn on these. I don't know if it's a wide thread or what, but it's pretty sensitive. The last thing you want to do when trying to save a couple $100 by doing your own brakes is to either break a bolt off or strip it. Again, I wouldn't even look up how much this part would be. But anyways, do kind of just make sure it's on there right, make sure everything looks okay. It's really hard to mess up, but I've messed up some pretty simple things. So now that that's on there, that's tightened, top and bottom, brakes on there, everything's happy, greased up, tightened. We just put the tire, or the wheel back on. So just two-hand it, make sure if the bolt's on top, the studs on top, like the star standing up, how you put the tire on, put the lugs on, and again you're going to want to tighten it almost all the way while it's on there. Of course, once you start torquing it, it's going to move on you and kind of bug you, but if you get close enough, that's when you unjack the car and then you tighten in the star pattern back. Don't forget to put your lug wrench back in its little spot, so if your wife ever gets a flat, or you do when you're driving around, you can change your tire yourself, save the day. For this job, I left it on the jack stands. I know that's, they fail, so don't ever work on your car under it with just those supporting it. But for this, if it were to fall, it wouldn't be as bad as crushing someone's body. You're just keeping the tire off the ground. So your call. I guess I should say you should use jack stands and not just jacks. But again, on this job, you're not underneath anything, so it's not going to kill you. Alright, and the wheels are on there. Like I said, I just lowered it. Yeah, just be careful. Lower it, and then once it's down, then you're going to want to, tighten the lugs again in the star pattern one more tight, and that's it. Congratulations, you got new brakes. Be very careful once you start the car to tap those brakes, because if you put it in drive, you will not stop, and it's very scary. So make sure you pump the brakes. What you're going to do is get those calipers back to where they need to be, to where they're not squeezed shut, but squeezed to when you do hit the brakes, it's ready to actually grab those rotors and slow you down. It's also a good time to check the brake fluid reservoir. You're going to want to check the brake fluid after you change your brakes, and kind of when you're done also you tap the brakes a few times, and that way there's no surprises the first time you go to drive your car and you forget and the brakes go down to the floor. So we'll pop our hood, get our little lever, put our little stand up there. Here's our brake fluid, it's hidden. Actually I had to look it up in the manual, it's on 619. This little flap up here, that'll fly right off. That's how we get it to our brake fluid. Just make sure it's between the min and the max. If you wiggle it, you can kind of see the line in there, see how it jiggles around. Mine's good, but like I said, check yours. And you're done. You just saved yourself a couple $100 and have the peace of mind knowing that you did the work. Make sure there's no extra parts. Make sure you put everything away. If you got the warranty, make sure you put those brake pads away for when you need replacements. Put your lug wrench back in your little storage area in the back. And congratulations.